XRP Army, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Thank you to each and every one of you guys, for tuning in to the Crypto ZX channel on a day-to-day basis. Continue supporting, and you guys know your boy will continue to bring out these updates. But hope you guys had a wonderful weekend, nice relaxed weekend, and you're setting yourself up, for a successful week ahead. As far as, the market is concerned, over the last 24 hours, we did see the broader market see a little bit of a retracement. While, Bitcoin is completely sending, dominance is sending, and, dominance is what you need to be focusing on. But, that's not what we're here for. We're here to discuss XRP. Obviously, we'll kind of go over, the price, and I'm going to pull out the dominance index to really show you guys what's going on. But, the broader market did see a little bit of a minor pullback. As we are obviously going into Tuesday morning, we're still seeing a little bit of a minor pullback for XRP, down about 1.7% in USD, also down about 2.7% in Bitcoin comparative. Shouldn't really be a surprise on the Bitcoin side of things because of the fact that, obviously dominance is going crazy. So of course in Bitcoin comparative, you will see, altcoins kind of going down more, but the price is at $2.10, the valuation at $122.4 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 2.1 billion. Before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer for you guys. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. I want to start off with this here. ETF inflows. So ETF inflows, around 4,400 Bitcoin were bought and 16,000 ETH were sold. So you're actually seeing inflow on Bitcoin ETF side of things, but on ETH, you're seeing outflows. Not a surprise, something we've been discussing. And, in just our yesterday's update, we spoke about how XRP is setting itself up, to take over Ethereum spot. And again, this is one of the very, good examples of, the interest, believe it or not, in terms of retail, institutional, or even, ETF interest is concerned, you're not seeing, and developer interest, it's not there as it was a few years ago, which of course kind of correlate with, these numbers that we're seeing. But look at this, a historic day, of course, Coinbase has announced this, Coinbase Derivatives LLC now offers CFTC regulated futures for XRP. Big news, of course, highly anticipated. And here we have it, guys. This is CFTC, regulated futures for the native token, which is XRP. So big moves happening. A lot of people will overlook this, but you don't want to be overlooking this. This is massive news. And speaking about that, look at this. XRP ETF Countdown is on. Big names, bold moves. Final deadlines are locked. Will 2025 be the year of XRP enters Wall Street's elite? You could see this for yourself. Grayscale, 21 shares. Canary, Wise, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, Franklin Templeton, VanEck. The list goes on and on. So again, obviously, the big boys like Fidelity, the likes of BlackRock, they're missing, but I think they're, well aware of these things that are happening. Guess what? These are competitors to the likes of BlackRock and Fidelity. They're taking, very close eye on it, believe it or not. And I think, they are coming sooner than, we know. Because, of course, if you do see this much interest coming in for a native token and a digital asset, of course, I think, these guys are going to be paying attention to, which a lot of rumors there are already flying that, these guys are already looking at XRP, they're actually buying XRP OTC. Obviously, at the end of the day, those need to be treated as rumors until, of course, otherwise, credible sources coming out that, that is legitimate. But obviously, kind of makes sense. But as of now, there's no obviously confirmation that, they're going to be filing. But moving forward, look at this. Currently 72 crypto-related ETFs are now pending SEC approval for the listing or options listing. Speaking of that, we had major news today. And I think, this could honestly be the reason why you saw Bitcoin kind of going up. Paul Atkins, has been officially sworn in as the SEC chairman on April 22nd, 2025. Huge step in the right direction for the digital asset space. So he is pro crypto. So you can see this is a huge step in the right direction, because the previous SEC chairman was totally against crypto, which was Gary Gensler. But you can see that date wasn't random. It marked the start of a 60-day window that sets in motion a much larger plan. His appointment clears the way for the SEC to stop blocking innovation and begin working in sync with the Treasury, the IRS, and the Fed and the FinAc. All of these agencies are now coordinating to connect financial data, identity systems, and digital payments infrastructure under one unified framework. Everything is being built around ISO 20022 messaging, digital ID, and programmable money that can be tracked and enforced in real time. This 60-day period leads into a larger 180-day mandate set by the executive order, which gives these agencies a deadline to deliver a final report to the president. The report will include a proposal for new laws and regulation to support this shift, giving legal backing to tokenized treasuries, verified stablecoins, automated tax systems, and identity-locked access to money. We now have the green light for the stage of the UF's financial reset to go from infrastructure rollout to policy enforcement. Everything now moves a clock. Very big news. And I think, we are definitely heading in the right direction. Look at this, new documents leak. XRP was created to replace SWIFT. A newly revealed diagram shows how Ripple is poised to transfer global payments. This system changes everything. So of course, obviously these types of, things go every day on Twitter. Obviously, this is not something that is credibly, valid in terms of source that verifies this is legitimate. But, there's no doubt, if you understand, Ripple and the XRP token and, the usability of it, it definitely does have, what this diagram shows. But again, in terms of it being, credible, we need to kind of obviously hold off on that. But that is that. Let me know down below what you guys personally think. A lot of big things happening. But speaking about the dominance here, guys, dominance skyrocketed to some of the levels we haven't seen since 2021. And if you understand how dominance works, this is not a good sign for altcoins. And this is something your boy Crypto ZX focuses on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people get bored of it, but now you know why I speak so much on the dominance. If you're looking at BTC, Bitcoin had an amazing day. Went up to $88,000, $88,864 a few hours ago. We've been talking about this range for quite some time. Obviously, this is a resistance, so we do expect a little bit of a rejection. If this is able to break out, the 23.6 is a level to be looking at for XRP. Still ranging, within the 38.2. Like I said, dominance is really high. Of course, you're going to see altcoins, including XRP, seeing a little bit of a lag against BTC, but so far so good. In a grand scheme of things, we're still in the 38.2, which a lot of people tend to forget, and people call this boring price action. What if we were at 50 cents? I'm sure no one really wants the price to be at 50 cents. You gotta look at the bigger picture. Love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.